Hi everyone, it's Diana Palm, the Love Witch, and today I want to talk to you about distant funerals. If you have lost a loved one during this time of pandemic, during COVID, and you weren't able to physically be present for your family to support them and to honor your loved one, I thought I would make this video to help you create a sacred space at home so that you still really feel connected to your loved ones and that you can honor your loved one who passed. As many of you know, my father passed last week. He lives out of state in Virginia, and I'm currently living in Arizona. My family seems to be scattered all over the country, living in many different states. So when it came time to go to his funeral, we were really conflicted about what to do. Should we travel to be there? Should we drive? Should we fly? Or should we stay at home? Now, what complicated the matter is that both of my parents had COVID last month. Thankfully, my mother recovered and was sent home to await my dad. But my dad did not recover, and he did die of COVID. As we know, throughout this pandemic, there's times when it's been on lockdown, and then it frees up and there's release, and it seems to be ebbing and flowing in different areas all over the world. But as Omicron was sweeping the nation, the reports were that it wasn't very serious. So we were caught off guard with my dad and mom getting so ill, and of course with my father passing. Now, with them being out of state, that was something I really had to take into consideration for myself. I wanted to be there to honor my father, to support my mom, and to be able to participate with the rest of the family. But what I had to think about was that if my traveling could cause myself harm, or anyone else at the funeral harm, or coming back home to my daughter and perhaps spreading the virus there. So having both of my parents affected with COVID at the same time and then my father passing from it, I decided for myself that that didn't feel right to travel into that area to go through the normal funeral proceedings. I did decide to stay home, which is a tough choice. If you have decided to stay home instead of travel for a funeral in the past few years, I would love to know that down below and, of course, offer you all my love and support. That is not an easy decision. Many of you may even experience sadness or additional guilt or grief because of not being able to be there. So I totally understand. And I want to support you in the fact that following your own guidance at these times is very, very important. Now, when I decided to stay home, what I did was try to stay connected with the family, find out what was going on from day to day, when the visitation was planned, when the funeral was planned, and I booked off my schedule just as if I was going out of town. That way I could mindfully be present at the times that family was gathering and to be energetically connected to the events, holding space, sending my prayers and intentions to the rest of the family. It's a really great idea if you can stay connected to people through phone calls, through FaceTime, or even if in your area you can have a small gathering with people to support each other. And that's what I did. When my father first passed, I connected with a few family members here that were very close, and we had a very small memorial. We felt safe doing that. We were able to share loving memories, look at old photos, and send some heartfelt intentions and prayers to my dad. Being able to gather that way was really important to me because it really helped bring closure and connection with other family members. This morning was actually my dad's funeral, and so I had that time in my calendar, and during the time that the rest of the family was gathering in person, remotely, I connected in with the energy, and I did some really kind self-nurturing things that maybe you want to try at home too if this is impacting you or your family members. I decided to take a ritual bath. I threw in a bath bomb, lit a candle in my bathroom, turned out the lights, and normally I do like to listen to meditation music when I'm taking a sacred bath, but this time I didn't. I really wanted to sit in silence. I wanted to observe the silence and be very open and receptive to being able to connect with my dad in spirit and to be mindful about what I was feeling and experiencing on an emotional level. So in this case, if you're taking a sacred bath, I would say that silence is going to be your friend. Don't be afraid of the silence. It's okay if emotions bubble up. Crying it out in the bathtub is the best place to express your emotions and also feel your spiritual connection to your loved one. This is a fantastic time to review your life experiences together, which means, if you have unhealed issues, if you have any resentments, if you have pain that you've been carrying for a long time, this is a really good time to offer it up. while you're still in the tub. The water will help you to transmute that energy and really release it better. So this is a wonderful time to just say, you know, I love you, Dad. I forgive you, Dad. Please forgive me, Dad. And then to soften your heart around any experiences that you've held on to that have been painful from the past. You can use this for anybody that you lose, a parent, a sibling, a friend, or even a pet. Anybody that you love, you can release in this way while sitting in the sacred bath. And it allows you to express those hidden emotions that you really need to release in order to heal. After you've done the release and forgiving, make sure that you follow it up with showing gratitude and actually really feeling the gratitude. Like, thank you for this life lesson, or thank you for the strength or the confidence you gave me, or wow, that lesson was pretty hard, but now this many years later, I can see what I learned from it. And in that, you can be grateful for so many more things than you may think you would be. So really look into it, dive into that, and see what all this person taught you, or what your relationship dynamic taught you. It could be that the significant person in your life set up some kind of pattern for you, or were a part of your patterning in relationships. And if you really get the lesson from this person and you show your gratitude, you can actually shift this lesson so that you no longer repeat that pattern and cycle within other relationships. So do the forgiveness, release resentment, and really embrace the gratitude that you have for being able to share a life experience with this person. Remember, you don't have to be there in person to still have a meaningful connection to the events and to be able to have the emotional experience, the closure, the expression of love and gratitude, the expression of forgiveness, and to feel close to your loved one throughout the death process, especially when it is a distant or virtual funeral. I decided to make a traditional holiday meal because it reminded me of my dad, and it's something that we would have eaten as a family together. So I made some Mormon potatoes, which are super cheesy, delicious and yummy. My mom has had the recipe for years, and we had many holidays with Mormon potatoes. So I made my Mormon potatoes. I'm actually just about ready to eat them. I've not been taking calls. I've not been answering emails. I haven't been doing any work. So even though I'm virtual, I've created a sanctuary around myself where I can move through all the emotions that I need to process the loss and the energy within my family as it's being released through this funeral experience. Remember to be kind to yourself, be nurturing to yourself, and think about what would make you feel connected to your family even when you're not there in person. And write that down in the comments below. I would love to know what you've done to really feel connected and present even when you're not. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I hope this video helped you navigate through the experience of having a distant or virtual funeral, and that it will help you feel more emotionally connected to your loved one that you've lost, and that it helps you feel more connected to your family even when you're not there physically. If you like this video, be sure to give me a like down below, subscribe, and share it with a friend. I would also like to share with you that I am a medium, and because of my divine connection with Spirit, I know the people that are experiencing a COVID death or dying during this time frame have chosen as a soul to go during this historical time. I see this a lot with mass exits, where a lot of souls choose to go at a particular time in history to be an energetic piece of that history, to play a role in that somehow, and to move their family group consciousness through that, or to be part of the larger worldview of this event. So any of your family members or friends that are currently passing, or that have passed in the past few years where you haven't been able to be there in person, please know that their soul had this in alignment, that they chose to go at this significant time in history, and that doing so, they knew that you would not be able to be there in person. They knew that it would shake up tradition, that people would have to find different ways to honor a loved one with a distant or virtual funeral. Knowing this should actually ease your mind and your heart as well, because it's part of the agreement in leaving at this time. If you would like to know more about the timing of death and death doors and how we select the time that we go, Be sure you check out my book, I Don't Know How to Let Them Go. I'll have that link down in the comments below. I have many links there. I have links for private sessions if your heart is heavy, you need some healing. I have spiritual healing and coaching packages. I've got books, videos, and all kinds of other services to help you find the healing that you seek. And of course, I always have all my videos here on YouTube for free. So I invite you to stay a while and heal your heart. This is always a safe place for you. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.